Fourth phase. In the evolution of consciousness, when the soul leads in the fourth phase, the ego is no longer the main player. It is not defeated. It is not destroyed. It simply no longer stands at the center. It realizes that it can be strong without ruling, that it can achieve, but in service of something higher. That higher presence now takes the lead. The soul. The transition from the third to the fourth phase doesn't happen overnight. There is no enlightenment, no magical moment. It begins with a softening. The ego gradually steps back, not because it has lost strength, but because it has recognized its own limit. It realizes that it doesn't know everything, can't do everything, and that this isn't weakness, but wisdom. That the highest form of control is surrender. In this phase, decisions are no longer based on personal gain. The person doesn't ask, "What will I get from this?" but rather, "What is true? What is right?" And there's no idealism here. The soul is not naive. It knows what reality is. But now, the person doesn't choose what's easiest. They choose what's real. Intuition is constantly present. It doesn't appear as a shocking moment of inner awakening, but as quiet certainty. It knows, without explanation, without needing to convince the mind. The ego listens to this voice and doesn't resist. It knows there will be a result, and even if it's not what the ego envisioned, it will be what's best. And here lies the key transformation. The person no longer suffers when they don't have control. They are calm. Because trust is no longer hope, it's knowing. The person in this phase is quiet, not because they have nothing to say, but because they no longer need to prove anything. They act when needed, and remain still when it's not their time. They're not passive, they're active. But now the motives and goals are no longer dictated by the ego. There is no longer, "Let me prove something," not even, "I have to succeed." There's only, "Let's do what needs to be done." The soul has no ambition, it has direction. That's why the person no longer looks like a fighter, but a guide. They don't persuade. They don't conquer. They simply live the moment. If someone recognizes it, great. If not, that's fine too. In this phase, there is no effort to be spiritual. Certain situations still trigger the ego to react out of habit. The soul watches and thinks, "Go on, take a little bite. We're not at the end of the road just yet." Immediately after, the ego startles. "Why did I do that? What was I trying to prove? Who benefits from this?" And balance is restored. The ego is happy not to be alone. It doesn't feel threatened. It doesn't need a stage. It doesn't need a title. It is enough that it now knows it is part of something much greater. It knows it is part of God. In the fourth phase, the soul leads and the ego follows. The soul needs a capable ally in the material world to carry out what serves the interest of cosmic consciousness. It needs to be part of a person who can help those walking the same path, but who are still behind. It doesn't look down on them, doesn't judge them, doesn't scold them. It tells them what it believes they can do and explains. If they don't listen, it moves on. Its part is done, and the rest is left to someone who might explain it better, or to life itself, which will help them ascend through its own lessons. How can you recognize people in the fourth phase? They are always in a pleasant mood. When you're around them, their presence calms you. You may even feel so relaxed that you start to feel sleepy. This doesn't mean they're hypnotic. It means they radiate peace. They help you understand that life isn't as dark as it sometimes seems. When you're with someone like this, you feel like telling them everything that's on your heart. They don't ask for your trust, but you trust them naturally. Not because they flatter you or agree with you. On the contrary, they may tell you where you're wrong, who you might have hurt, or how you're sabotaging yourself. And you'll accept it. Not because it's gentle, but because you know it's honest. You don't feel judged or shamed. You know their intentions are pure. Even if you say, I don't agree with you and I'll do the opposite, they won't get angry. They won't be disappointed. Maybe they'll feel a bit sad. They'll let you go, but you'll carry their love with you. And you won't feel ashamed if you come back and admit you were wrong. They'll still be there, ready to help you see the truth and choose your path yourself. If this felt familiar, not just like an idea, but like something you already live, then you're probably one of the few. In the comments, share your thoughts. What does it feel like when you stop chasing and simply act from truth? And if this phase is still ahead of you, don't rush. You're not behind. You're just on the way. Subscribe if you want to keep walking together, quietly, clearly, with purpose. No spotlight, no drama, just presence.